Funny thing happened to Charlie McDonald on the way to answering Alex Day's YouTube survey. He got stuck on the first question. Hi, I'm Mickeleh, tagged to do the Nerimon 2013 survey by Chris Early. Thank you, Chris. 5 simple questions, but that first one, what's your biggest fear? My answer, I'm terrified I won't be able to get a good key on my green screen. Charlie's answer, death. Neefsey in response to Charlie, death. Yeah, I'm letting you know that Neefsey did a video response to Charlie because, well, YouTube is not in that business anymore. Video responses are dead. Charlie's has a joke about guacamole. It cracks him up, cracks me up too. Neefsey's goes into sphincter failure and post-mortem poo. Both videos are worth your time, but if you only have time for one, that's how you can choose. Guacamole or poo? I say poo, which reminds me, I really need to make some guacamole. Charlie points out most of the things you could be afraid of probably won't happen, might not happen, but death will happen. Relax, in this video, death won't happen, but guacamole will. Of course, if Ray Kurzweil is right about the Singularity, then provided you manage to stay alive until 2029, Kurzweil figures computers will be so far advanced we can upload our consciousness into our tech and avoid the Reaper. Although Charlie does see a flaw in that plan. What I wonder is, assuming you do make it to 2029, will you be able to afford whatever it takes to singularity-tize yourself? I haven't read Kurzweil's plan, but I assume he's worked out the business model, not just the technical feasibility. I live in a country where some people can't afford to eat, and Republicans say, well, that's your problem. Some people can't afford medical care. Republicans say, well, that's your problem. Wait till immortality goes on sale, and some people can't afford to live forever. Oh, and who's going to sell this singularity stuff to us anyway? Can you imagine Google, Amazon, and Apple competing with branded immortality? What if you pick the wrong brand? You'll be uploaded into an incompatible server. You won't be able to find your friends. Well, as the Republicans say, that's your problem. I also hope Kurzweil has worked out the politics. I can just see the poor folks storming the servers and pulling the plugs. Ha! You thought you could live forever. I guess I should read the book. I'm sure Kurzweil has it all worked out. 2, how did you find out Santa wasn't real? Well, from Nerimon. Talk about spoilers. Alex, how could you? Actually, Jewish. Santa who? What's the best idea you've ever had? Sad to say, I've never had a really great idea. I've had some pretty good ones, though, like deciding to make guacamole. Also, going to work for Apple was a pretty good idea. Figuring out how I could win an Emmy for my company, Digio, twice. Joining YouTube, that's working out nicely. But I'm still hoping for that great idea. It'd be nice to find one before the buzzer rings. Most embarrassing thing your parents have ever done? Okay. So there was one time, wait, look, this is so embarrassing. Before putting it on camera, I told my roommate just to test his reaction. And he just stared at me, quietly. And finally he said, have you ever told that story before? I said, no, I've never told anyone. You're the first person to ever hear it. And he said, I think you should leave it that way. I'm not going to tell you. What, just because Alex Day wants to know I have to tell? How about if I tell you something my grandmother did to embarrass my parents? That's my best offer. Happened before I was born. It's a family legend. My dad was the youngest in his family. There was a pretty big gap between him and his 3 older siblings, which meant he was still living with Grandma for years after his brother and his sisters had moved out and started their own families. At my parents' wedding, the story goes, my grandmother burst out crying loudly, my baby, no, no. She made such a scene, the rabbi called the time out. He stopped the wedding. He had a quick counseling session in his private study. Then he went on. It's just like an episode in a really cheesy sitcom. But wait, that was just the warm-up. There's more. My grandmother and one of my father's sisters and his brother-in-law all joined my parents on their honeymoon. Family outing. We think we live in the age of no privacy. 5. If you were allowed to pick one career for the rest of your life, what would it be? A short one. I'm 70. Do I still need a career? Okay, I want to direct. Until next time, if I live that long, I'm Mickeleh. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for tagging me. Here's Charlie's video, and Nifsi's. And here's Ray Kurzweil himself talking about the Singularity. I tag anyone who wants to make one of these. Just do it and say, Mickeleh tagged me. Send me a tweet. I'll back you up. But specifically, I tag Bill TV Macon. I know you've been tagged, Bill, but I'm double tagging. Also, a YouTuber had just returned from deep hibernation, Banana Neil, and Joraga, and Georgie Boom. I'd like to tag Johnny Durham 19, but he hasn't vlogged for a year. More videos on the way. Subscribe, and YouTube may tell you about them. Follow me on Twitter. I'll definitely tell you about them. Bye now.